RBS Business Research Academy welcomes to you in the video lecture number 27. This video is completely a practical video, and this video is about the qualitative effect, analyzing the qualitative effect in smart PLS. If you would like to watch its theoretical video, then the video lecture number 26 is available. I suggest you to watch the video lecture number 26 practical, and then you can watch the video lecture number 27. That's about the practical. So in this video, I'm going to discuss about the how to analyze the qualitative type of the data or the non-linear data in smart PLS. Smart PLS provides an efficient tool to analyze this type of data. This type of tool is not available in this like in the SPC. So now, in order to solve this problem, the smart PLS has developed this tool for you. So let's start to discuss how you can analyze the quality data in the smart PLS. But before this one, my name is Dr. Rainbek Sumru, and I'm from Samti University, Pakistan. Here you are looking my certificate, which was awarded to me from the Smart PLS Academy, Germany, after completing the 9 modules which are shown in this certificate. Okay. I'm for the formally starting with the practical session of this one. So first of all, we have to include the qualitative effect in this one. How do this qualitative effect tool is available from this one? You can also, or alternatively, you can select this dependent variable and right click on this one. Here you are looking the add qualitative effect. Okay, and add the moderating effect. On this one, my 3 videos are available. If you find time, you can also watch those videos to understand the how to perform the moderation in smart PLS. But here we are adding a quality effect in this model. Just click it, and here this type of the new window you will see. So here in this one, there are the basically 3 approaches are there. Now these 3 approaches are also of the moderation. When you apply the moderation on your data, then you will find these 3 options are available. So product indicator, 2-stage orthogonal, but here we will only work on the 2-stage when we want to apply the qualitative effect. So in this case, loyalty is our dependent variable. Here looking, loyalty is our dependent variable, and our customer satisfaction, that is our independent variable over here. So now here this customer satisfaction, just select it and then just press OK. You will see a new variable has been increased. So now this one is a more qualitative effect. So if you want to know how many indicators are in this one, just click this one and you will find the show indicators of select construct. So there is only one indicator is there. So now, so after adding the qualitative effect, I would like to introduce the whole model. In this one, this is the expectation, that is a reflective latent variable, and this is a quality, that is also a reflective latent variable. And this one is a dependent variable. This is the loyalty, this is the formative latent variable. If you are unable to understand the difference between the latent variable and the formative variable, then my videos are available on these 2 one. You can watch all those one, and then you will be able to understand the clear difference between these 2 type of the latent variable. Okay, so but here now I would like to apply the algorithm on this one. So here this is a combination of the reflective and formative. That's why we should prefer PLS algorithm. So here you are looking also consistent PLS algorithm. We can apply consistent algorithm when we have our latent variable. These are the reflective. In this case, we can apply this technique. Now here we have the mixture of the formative and reflective. The better choice is to PLS algorithm. Alternately, if you have all the variables are formative, then PLS algorithm is a better choice than the consistent PLS algorithm. So that's why we are applying the PLS algorithm. Click here. Okay, so everything is same. Just start calculations. It's very quick to calculate. Now all the results are available. So here, first of all, we have to see the measurement model. So it is going to measure the model regarding the different benchmarks are there, criteria are there. These criteria are like the Cronbach's for composite reliability and the AVE, average variance expected. So all are in the green color. The beauty of this software there is that if there is any violation of any benchmark, then the same violation will be shown to you in the red. So thank God there is no any our figure in the red color, all are in the green color. So that's a good thing, is our measurement model is completely we say free from all type of the errors. So one more thing which we want to, collinearity diagnosis. Again, there is no issue of the collinearity. So now from this one, it is always advised to dear viewers that you should go through the to check the discriminant validity, construct liability, because these are very important to have the some stable and good results. Otherwise, the results will be produced by the software, but these results will not be the reliable because so many issues are there. So thanks God, there is no issue in this one. Now we are going to apply the okay. So now here you're looking the some of the effects are there. Expect its effect is a 32% on the loyalty, and the quality has effect of 1.99 on the loyalty, and the quality effect which we want to check in this video, it is a negative minus or the negative r minus 0.03, a very negligible impact of this one is on this one. So now 0.681, this is our r square, this one is also r square. We have a very good r square in this model. Okay, so now we are going to apply either all these impact are significant or not. So now in this one, again, we have to go through the bootstrapping. So now the same criteria we can follow, consistent bootstrapping and the bootstrapping. So all our variable are mixed one, so that's why bootstrapping is good. So here, subsample, you can go for even the 5,000, but it will take so much time. So that's why we are avoiding, we are working on the 500 sample size. So it is better for you in your free time. You can go right here subsample with the 5,000 subsample. Okay, but here I'm working on the 500 because to save the time of this video. Okay, so everything should be same. Then start calculation. It will take some time. So now we have received the results of the bootstrapping, and these results are before you. So in this now, this is the path coefficient. So now here the path coefficient. So these are results of the path coefficients. So like that is the we are saying that the hypothesis has been accepted. How to know when our value is less than 0.05 or 0.0 or 0.1? So the same values are here. So in this one, we are going to test the hypothesis on the basis of the 95% confusion interval. So that's why all the values which are looking here, these are in the green colors. These are well below the 0.05, and then again these are the well below than the 0.05. So all are in the green color. So because these are significant, again I'm repeating that this is the beauty of the software. Let me say, whenever anyone is a significant, it will shown in the green color. Whenever there is a violation of any benchmark, the same will be shown to you in the red color. Just like here you are looking that this one, this is the violation in other term, but actually we can say that this is the qualitative effect. So we are for which we are looking here. So now it is an insignificant. So already I showed the result, that means that when there was a very negligible impact of this qualitative effect on the dependent variable. So now this result shows that on one hand is there was a negative relationship, and on other hand it is an insignificant because its p value is a 0.375, which is quite above the 0.05. Again, the t value is also less than 1.96. So now, so these relationships are insignificant. Okay, so now this is a relationship. This relationship is the insignificant. Now, how to report this one? Now we are going back to the another document which I showed you in the last video. So now here, if you have the, for example, here the two, the means our like the hypothesis is there. Hypothesis H1, satisfaction and loyalty have a significant non-linear qualitative effect, and the significant satisfaction and loyalty have a insignificant non-linear qualitative effect. Okay, so now if you go down, now here these are results of this one, which shows that from the figure 35, it can be calculated that the CXT, now this like the effect, qualitative effect on the loyalty, which is at the 0.725 p value, which is larger than our satisfaction of the 0.05. It means it is also insignificant, as I received the result in my attempt on the smart PLS. the value of this one was higher than the 0.05, the same value is there. As a result, we accepted null hypothesis, customer satisfaction and loyalty do not hold any significant non-linear qualitative effect. That means that there's no any non-linear and the qualitative effect over there. So if we, for example, if we have received the value less than the 0.05, then we could be able to say that there was a significant, means there was a linear and there was a non-linear and qualitative effect. So here in this one, there is no any qualitative effect. So another a very good paper I want to show you here, that's about the testing the linear relationship. This will also tell about some of the good things regarding the qualitative effect. So now this paper is a testing linear qualitative effect between the price adaptation and the export performance. So now let's see what is there inside this one. Quickly, we are moving down. This is our model. Okay, so where they want to check the price adoption and the export performance. So here, qualitative effect. Now, how to write about the qualitative effect? This is the way to write the qualitative effect. In this way, the first one is the concern with the H8 is that it implies that the export performance will always increase with a greater degree of the price adaptation. Price adaptation, that means the way the country in which you are exporting your product. You are, that means the sometimes you are adapting the local price, or you are changing the price according to local price in order to boost up your sales in the other country. So that's concept of the price adaptation. So now, if you are applying the price adaptation technique, so definitely your price, your exports performance will be increased. Okay, a possible explanation is that the relationship between the adaptation and export performance is a non-linear. Okay, a similar view is also advanced by the Doe, who suggests that the conflicting empirical finding in the literature review may be due to the fact that the relationship between the adaptation export performance is an inverted U shape rather than the linear. It's not linear. It's a non-linear quantitative R in the U shape. So now in this, how the literature is going to report about the qualitative effect. Then according to we propose alternative hypothesis that suggests that the relationship between the price adaptation export performance is a curvilinear inverted rather than the linear. At least it's not linear. Okay. So now curvilinear is another type of the non-linear relationship. Now on one hand, relationship may be a qualitative relationship, or on other it may be the curvilinear relationship. So but whatever the relationship is, but at least it is a non-linear relationship. Okay, curvilinear and inverted U-shaped relationship between the price adaptation and export performance also indicate that the beyond the optimal point, at some point, the any level of investment in the price adaptation will be detrimental. So now at some price, at some stage will come where the further the investment in the price actually will be detrimental for the export performance, will be harmful for the export performance. Now, that means your hypothesis, inverted U-shaped relationship exists between the price adaptation and export performance. Although this paper is not talking about the qualitative, but just to explain some of the other type of the non-linear relationship. So I'm providing you are presenting this paper before you. Okay, and this one, okay, this is a price adaptation. Now it is a non-significant, as well as it's a negative relationship, and it's a non-significant because this is a t value which is more than 1.96. So now here H8, how to report your results. This is one way to report your results. You can follow, you can adopt another way to report your results. So here our study provides support for the alternative hypothesis H9 because the coefficient of for the quantitative term of the price adaptation is negative in significant less than the 0.05. 0.01. That means that it is going to here the confidence interval is a 90%, not a 95%. That's why it is significant. This provides evidence of an inverted U-shaped relationship between the price adaptation and export performance. This result means that the initial level of the price adaptation, the firm performance is in the export market is low. As the company moves toward the high level of the product level of adaptation of its price strategy in intensive setting, the export performance increase up to the point when further adaptation will be detrimental. So now, if you want to increase the performance of your export in the certain market, then you can adopt the price, but at a certain time, it will work, but after that one, it may not work. It means ultimately it becomes detrimental, harmful for you. So this is called the now this is a non-linear relationship between the firm performance and the price adaptation. As you saw, you observed, in my, so there was also a insignificant negative relationship between the loyalty and customer success. Okay, so now we are going towards our smart PLS. So here again we are on our smart PLS. So okay, so now at the end of this video, I hope you like this video. And again, the same request to you. Please take care of yourself and please take care of this channel by watching these videos, by subscribing this channel, and by referring to the other regarding about these videos. Thank you very much for watching this video.